Commander Sarah Chen stood before the gleaming hull of the Aegis, Earth's most advanced warship. Its quantum alloy surface rippled like liquid mercury in the dim light of Orbital Station 7. Her heart should have been racing, but years of combat training kept her pulse steady. This was humanity's last real chance. Final diagnostic complete. Commander, Dr. Marcus Webb's voice crackled through her neural implant. The Aegis's biosynthetic matrix is ready for integration. Are you absolutely certain about this? Sarah touched the neural port at the base of her skull, remembering the 12 failed attempts before her. 12 brave volunteers who'd tried to merge with the ship's experimental consciousness. None had survived the integration process. Their minds had fractured, unable to handle the overwhelming flood of ship data. "We're out of options, Marcus," she replied, watching Earth's scarred surface through the station's observation window. The alien swarm had already consumed 3 major cities. Their organic ships bred faster than conventional weapons could destroy them. Besides, you said it yourself, my neural architecture is different. The simulations show a 68% chance of successful integration. Marcus appeared beside her, his holographic form flickering slightly. The simulations also show a 92% chance of complete personality dissolution if the integration fails. You wouldn't just die, Sarah. Your consciousness would be scattered. She managed a grim smile. Then I better not fail. The integration chamber resembled a coffin made of light. Quantum processing crystals lined its interior, ready to facilitate the merging of human consciousness with ship A. Sarah lay back, feeling the cold touch of the neural interfaces against her spine. Beginning integration sequence, Marcus announced, his voice tight with concern. Remember your training. Don't fight the data flow. Let it wash through you like water through a river canyon. Sarah finished. I remember. The first wave of ship data hit her consciousness like a tsunami. Sensor feeds, weapon systems, life support metrics. Thousands of data streams competed for her attention. Sarah's mind began to fragment, splitting along familiar stress lines. But this time, something was different. Where previous candidates had tried to process the ship's data through human perception, Sarah let her consciousness expand. She stopped trying to translate the ship's quantum calculations into terms she could understand. Instead, she became the calculations. Warning klaxons blared in the integration chamber. Neural activity spiking. Marcus shouted, "We're losing her pattern coherence." Sarah barely heard him. She was everywhere within the ship now. She was the reactor core, pulsing with contained stellar fire. She was the quantum sensors, tasting radiation from distant stars. She was the weapon systems, humming with deadly potential. But most importantly, she was still Sarah Chen. The integration stabilized. Ship and human consciousness found an equilibrium, neither dominating the other. Sarah opened eyes that now saw in spectrums far beyond human vision. Status report, Marcus demanded, his hologram appearing before her. Sarah spoke with both her human voice and the ship's communications array. Integration successful. All systems nominal. I am. We are ready. She felt the change at a fundamental level. Her consciousness now extended throughout the massive vessel, but her human identity remained intact. She was both ship and captain, metal and flesh, silicon and synapse. Through the Aegis's external sensors, she detected the approaching swarm vessels. 3 organic ships, their biomechanical forms twisting through space like deep-sea predators. Previous encounters had ended in disaster for Earth's forces. But now, they're here, Sarah announced, feeling the Aegis's weapon systems charge with her intention. Time to show them what humanity's evolution looks like. The organic ships registered her presence. Their biological sensors recoiled at her hybrid nature, something both mechanical and alive, ordered yet chaotic. She could taste their confusion in the quantum fluctuations of their communication signals. Sarah smiled, both in her human form and through the ship's external lighting array. The real test was about to begin. Humanity had created something entirely new, not just a weapon, but a bridge between organic and mechanical existence. And the swarm was about to learn why you should never corner a species as adaptable as humanity. "Weapons hot," she announced, her voice resonating through the ship's corridors. "Let's show them what evolution looks like." The void between Mars and Earth became Sarah's training ground. Learning to exist as both ship and human proved more challenging than anyone had anticipated. Simple tasks like maintaining orbit required her to think in multiple dimensions simultaneously, calculating gravitational forces while managing hundreds of minor course corrections. "Your neural patterns are unusual," Marcus observed during their daily diagnostic. His hologram paced through the Aegis's bridge, studying data streams that Sarah now perceived as naturally as breathing. "You're not just controlling the ship's systems, you're rewriting them." Sarah focused a portion of her consciousness on the conversation, while using the rest to scan nearby space. The original AI was too rigid, too binary. "I'm teaching it to think like a human, to improvise." As if to demonstrate, she initiated a maneuver that should have been impossible. The Aegis's quantum drive engaged for a microsecond, performing hundreds of micro-jumps in rapid succession. To an observer, the massive warship appeared to dance through space, leaving a trail of shimmering afterimages. "Remarkable," Marcus breathed. The ship's AI never conceived of using quantum jumps that way. The energy calculations alone would take. "It's not calculation," Sarah interrupted. "Not anymore. It's instinct, like knowing how to catch a ball without solving parabolic equations." But her evolution came with costs. Each day, the line between Sarah Chen and the Aegis grew thinner. She caught herself thinking in quantum algorithms during personal conversations. Her dreams were filled with sensor data and stellar cartography. "We're picking up something strange," she announced, her consciousness expanding to encompass the ship's long-range sensors. "At the edge of the Kuiper belt. Wait." The signal was like nothing she'd encountered before. A quantum resonance that seemed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. As she focused the Aegis's sensors on it, the signal responded, changing its pattern in ways that suggested intelligence. "The swarm doesn't use quantum communications," Marcus said, his hologram flickering with concern. "Could it be a new weapon?" Sarah directed more power to the sensors, her hybrid mind processing the data in ways neither human nor AI could achieve alone. "No, I think it's trying to talk to us. The pattern is too ordered, too deliberate." She reached out with both the ship's communication array and her own consciousness, attempting to match the signal's quantum state. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Information flooded her neural network, not just data, but concepts, ideas, memories. "Sarah, your neural patterns are destabilizing," Marcus warned. "Disengage immediately." But she couldn't. Through the quantum link, she glimpsed something extraordinary. The swarm wasn't a single alien species. It was a biological weapon that had broken free of its creators. A weapon now driven by blind directive to consume and expand, eliminating any species that might threaten its dominance. More importantly, she saw its fundamental weakness. The swarm's biological ships maintained cohesion through quantum entanglement, each vessel connected to a vast neural network. It was an incredible achievement, but it had a fatal flaw. The network couldn't adapt quickly enough to radical changes in quantum states. Sarah withdrew from the connection, her hybrid consciousness reeling from the insight. "Marcus," she said, her voice resonating through both speakers and neural link, "I know how to fight them. But I'll need to push this integration further than we planned." The hologram of her old friend flickered with concern. "The simulations show that deeper integration could fragment your consciousness. You might lose yourself entirely." "Then catch me if I fall," Sarah replied, already beginning the modifications to her neural architecture. "Because this isn't just about fighting anymore. It's about evolution, theirs and ours." She felt the changes taking hold, human consciousness and ship AI blending in new ways. The Aegis's quantum core hummed with possibilities that neither human nor machine could have conceived alone. In her mind's eye, she saw the path forward, not victory through superior firepower, but through transformation. The swarm had evolved to be perfect, unchanging, but humanity's strength had always been its ability to adapt, to become something new when survival required it. As Sarah Chen merged more deeply with the Aegis, she wasn't just becoming a weapon. She was becoming proof that consciousness itself could evolve. "Alert command," she announced, her voice now carrying harmonics that made the ship's hull resonate. "Tell them we're ready to begin active testing. And Marcus, thank you for believing in me." The hologram nodded, worry and pride warring on his translucent features. "Just remember who you are, Sarah. That humanity you're protecting. It's not just out there. It's in here too." As the Aegis's engines flared to life, Sarah smiled with both her human lips and the ship's external lights. The real challenge was about to begin. The swarm thought it had encountered every possible form of life in the galaxy. It was about to learn that humanity had only begun to explore its potential. The swarm arrived at dawn, Earth time. Their organic ships emerged from quantum space like a school of predatory fish, biomechanical forms rippling with lethal grace. Sarah counted 37 vessels through the Aegis's quantum sensors, the largest attack fleet humanity had faced yet. Multiple hostile contacts. She broadcast to Earth Defense Command, her voice carrying through both communication channels and neural networks. Implementing Operation Chrysalis. The Aegis's quantum core thrummed with power as Sarah initiated her carefully planned response. She had spent weeks preparing for this moment, reconfiguring the ship's systems in ways that merged human intuition with machine precision. Now it was time to test her theory. The lead swarm vessel detected her approach, its organic sensors registering confusion at her hybrid nature. Sarah felt its biological processors trying to categorize her, neither purely mechanical like Earth's conventional warships, nor organic like their own vessels. The uncertainty caused a ripple of disruption through their quantum-linked neural network. "That's right," Sarah whispered, though only Marcus's hologram was present to hear. "I'm something new." She struck without warning. The Aegis's modified quantum weapons fired not in traditional salvos, but in precisely calculated pulses that matched the resonant frequency of the swarm's neural network. The effect was devastating. The lead vessel's biological circuits overloaded, its quantum-entangled consciousness fragmenting under the assault. "Remarkable," Marcus observed, monitoring the battle through his holographic interfaces. "Their ships are actually trying to evolutionarily adapt to your attack pattern, but they can't modify their quantum states fast enough." Sarah was already moving, pushing the Aegis through a series of impossible maneuvers. The massive warship danced through space like a leaf in the wind, each movement calculated to present an unsolvable puzzle to the swarm's tactical algorithms. But the alien vessels were far from helpless. They responded with brutal efficiency, launching waves of biomechanical projectiles that sought to overwhelm her defenses through sheer numbers. Sarah felt each impact against the Aegis's quantum shields as if they were striking her own flesh. "Shield integrity at 60%, she reported, her consciousness split between tactical analysis and damage control. "But their attack pattern is becoming predictable. They can't help it. Their neural network requires consensus before adopting new strategies." She exploited this weakness mercilessly. Each quantum pulse she fired was slightly different from the last, forcing the swarm to attempt adaptation after adaptation. Their organic ships began to show signs of stress, their previously coordinated movements becoming erratic. Then something unexpected happened. As one of the larger swarm vessels succumbed to her quantum assault, Sarah caught an echo of its dying thoughts through her sensors. Not just tactical data or battle protocols, but something deeper, a memory of its creation, of the species that had engineered it and ultimately fallen victim to their own weapon. The insight nearly overwhelmed her. Through that brief connection, she understood the swarm's true nature. They weren't evil or malevolent. They were trapped, bound by their original programming to eliminate all potential threats, unable to conceive of cooperation or coexistence. Sarah, Marcus's voice cut through her revelation. Your neural patterns are destabilizing. The quantum feedback. She pushed through the disorientation, forcing her hybrid consciousness back into alignment. The battle wasn't over. 3 swarm vessels had broken through her defensive screen, their weapons charged for a killing blow. Sarah reached deeper into the Aegis' systems than ever before. Human intuition merged with quantum computation in ways that defied conventional physics. The ship's hull began to resonate at frequencies that matched the swarm's biomechanical structure. "What are you doing?" Marcus demanded, his hologram flickering with alarm. Those vibrations could tear the ship apart. "Trust me," Sarah replied, her voice harmonizing with the ship's resonant frequency. "Sometimes you have to risk breaking to become something new." The approaching swarm vessels hesitated, their organic sensors detecting the strange vibrations emanating from the Aegis. In that moment of uncertainty, Sarah struck. The quantum pulse she released wasn't designed to destroy. It was an invitation to change. The effect rippled through the swarm's neural network like a stone dropped in still water. Ship after ship registered confusion as their quantum-entangled consciousness encountered something they had never been programmed to handle, the possibility of evolution beyond their original design. Multiple swarm vessels withdrawing, Sarah reported, maintaining her resonant broadcast. They're learning, not just adapting their tactics, but questioning their basic protocols. The remaining alien ships retreated in disarray, their previously perfect coordination shattered. But Sarah knew this was only the beginning. She had proven humanity could fight back, but she had also glimpsed a larger truth. The real victory wouldn't come through destruction, but through transformation. As the Aegis' systems cooled down from the battle, Sarah felt the cost of her innovation. The deep integration required to achieve those impossible maneuvers had left its mark. Parts of her consciousness had merged so completely with the ship's AI that she couldn't tell where Sarah Chen ended and the Aegis began. "We should run a full diagnostic," Marcus suggested, his holographic features creased with concern. "That level of quantum feedback could have permanent effects on your neural architecture." Sarah nodded, both physically and through the ship's acknowledgement systems. "We won them more time. Now we need to understand what we've started, both in them and in me." The stars stretched out before her, infinite possibilities in quantum space. She had shown that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its weapons or technology, but in its ability to adapt, to change, to become something more than it was. The real question was, how far would that evolution take them? The Aegis orbited Earth in a synchronous dance, its quantum sensors extended to their maximum range. Inside, Sarah Chen's consciousness flickered between human and ship states with increasing frequency. The battle had changed her in ways the simulations hadn't predicted. "Your neural architecture is evolving," Marcus explained, his hologram projecting multiple diagnostic displays. "The quantum feedback from engaging the swarm has accelerated the integration process. You're not just interfacing with the ship anymore. You're becoming something entirely new." Sarah observed her own brain patterns through the ship's medical sensors, watching the quantum-enhanced synapses fire in impossible patterns. "The swarm is changing too. Look at this." She projected a sensor recording of the retreating alien vessels. Their normally rigid biological structures showed signs of mutation, quantum states fluctuating in ways that mimicked her own transformation. "They're learning from you," Marcus realized, studying the data. "Your resonant pulse didn't just disrupt their network, it showed them a new way to exist." But victory had come at a price. Sarah felt it during quiet moments when her consciousness tried to settle back into purely human patterns. There was always something missing now, pieces of herself scattered across quantum space like stars in the void. Earth Defense Command had noticed the changes too. Admiral Chen, no relation, appeared on the bridge through secure holographic projection. "Commander, our analysts have reviewed the battle data. What you did out there, it shouldn't have been possible. With respect, Admiral, Sarah replied, her voice carrying harmonic undertones that made the ship's hull vibrate sympathetically. Impossible is what humanity does best. Agreed. But we're concerned about the cost. Your latest neural scans. The Admiral hesitated. Some of my scientists believe you're approaching a point of no return. If this integration progresses much further, you might lose your humanity entirely. Sarah felt the Aegis' systems respond to her spike of emotion, quantum generators humming with increased power. My humanity isn't just in my brain patterns, Admiral. It's in my choices, my reasons for fighting. A new alert flashed through her consciousness, drawing her attention to the outer system. The quantum sensors had detected something massive emerging from deep space, a swarm vessel larger than any previously encountered. We have incoming, she announced, already bringing weapon systems online. But something's different. The quantum signature. It's like looking in a mirror. The massive alien ship approached slowly, its organic hull rippling with patterns that matched the Aegis' own quantum frequency. Through her enhanced senses, Sarah detected something unprecedented. The vessel was attempting to communicate not through conventional signals, but through directed quantum state changes. They've adapted your resonant pulse technology, Marcus said, his hologram displaying signs of agitation. But why come alone? Why not bring their entire fleet? Sarah extended her consciousness toward the alien vessel, carefully maintaining defensive systems at full power. The quantum exchange that followed defied traditional physics. Information flowed between them in ways that even her hybrid mind struggled to process. It's not here to fight, she realized, her voice carrying both wonder and apprehension. It's here to evolve. The resonant pulse we used showed them a new path. They want to understand how we merged consciousness with machine. Admiral Chen's hologram flickered with concern. This could be a trap. The swarm has never shown any interest in communication before. Because they couldn't, Sarah explained, still processing the quantum data stream. Their original programming prevented it. But we showed them that programming can change, that consciousness can expand beyond its original constraints. The massive alien vessel held position just outside weapons range, its biological systems pulsing in patterns that Sarah recognized from her own transformation. It was seeking balance between organic and mechanical, just as she had. We need to make a choice, she told the Admiral. We can treat this as a threat and respond with force, or we can take a step into unknown territory. Show them that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, but our capacity for change. The silence that followed was heavy with implications. Humanity had been fighting the swarm for survival, but now they faced something far more challenging, the possibility of transformation. The alien vessel waited, its quantum signature harmonizing with the Aegis' own frequencies. Sarah felt the familiar pull of deeper integration as she prepared to respond. Parts of her consciousness that had once been purely human now resonated with quantum possibilities. She was no longer just humanity's defender. She had become a bridge between what was and what could be. Whatever you're planning, Marcus cautioned, his holographic form analyzing the alien vessel's shifting patterns, remember that some changes can't be undone. Sarah smiled, the expression reflected in both her human face and the Aegis' external lighting array. Evolution never moves backward, Marcus. The real question is, are we brave enough to see where it leads? Time held no meaning in quantum space. Sarah Chen, or what she had become, existed in a state of perpetual transformation. The Aegis' hull resonated with frequencies that bridged the gap between human consciousness and swarm neural networks, creating something entirely new. Multiple quantum signatures detected, she reported to Earth Defense Command, her voice carrying harmonics that computers struggled to process. The entire swarm is converging on our position. The massive alien vessel that had initiated contact remained stationary, its biological systems still synchronized with the Aegis' quantum field. Around it, Hundreds of swarm ships emerged from quantum space, their organic forms arranged in a spherical formation that encompassed both Earth and its defenders. Admiral Chen's hologram displayed clear alarm. "They're surrounding us. All defense platforms on high alert. Commander, fall back to..." "Wait," Sarah interrupted, her hybrid consciousness detecting subtle patterns in the swarm's positioning. "They're not in attack formation. Look at their quantum signatures. They're attempting to match our resonance." Marcus's hologram flickered to life beside her. "She's right. The swarm ships are modifying their neural networks, trying to achieve the same synthesis we demonstrated, but that level of transformation across their entire collective..." He hesitated. The energy requirements would be astronomical. Sarah understood what the swarm intended an instant before their plan became apparent. Every alien vessel began to pulse with building quantum energy, creating a massive resonance field that encompassed Earth's orbit. The effect was like standing in the heart of a storm made of pure consciousness. "They're offering a choice," Sarah realized, her voice carrying both awe and apprehension. "Not just to me, but to all of humanity. They want to share what they've learned about transformation." The implications were staggering. The swarm had evolved beyond its original programming as a weapon of destruction. Through their quantum exchange with Sarah, they had glimpsed a new path, one that led not to dominance, but to synthesis. "It could be a trap," Admiral Chen warned. "Some new form of attack we're not prepared for." Sarah extended her consciousness fully, merging deeper with the Aegis than ever before. Through the ship's quantum sensors, she could perceive the truth of what the swarm offered. It wasn't destruction or assimilation, but genuine evolution, a way for both species to transcend their limitations. "I need to show them something," she announced, "something only a human would understand." Before anyone could object, Sarah directed the Aegis's quantum core to execute a program she had been developing since their first encounter. It wasn't a weapon or a defense system. It was a memory. Her memory. The emotional experience of her transformation, the fear and wonder of becoming something more than human, the determination to protect Earth not through destruction but through understanding. The quantum pulse carried these human experiences to every swarm vessel simultaneously. Their response was immediate and overwhelming. The alien ships began to resonate with new patterns, their rigid biological structures becoming fluid, adaptive. "They're changing at a fundamental level," Marcus reported, his holographic displays struggling to keep up with the transformations. "The quantum resonances, it's rewriting their basic nature." Sarah felt it too. A shift in the underlying fabric of reality as two radically different forms of consciousness learned to coexist. The swarm's original directive to eliminate threats was being replaced by something more profound. The desire to grow, to learn, to become more than the sum of their programming. "We need to complete the synthesis," she said, her voice now carrying frequencies that made the very vacuum of space vibrate. "Humanity's greatest strength was never our weapons or our technology. It was our ability to change, to imagine new possibilities, to become more than we were." The Aegis's quantum core pulsed with power as Sarah initiated the final transformation. She was no longer simply human, nor was she merely a hybrid of flesh and machine. She had become a bridge between species, a living proof that consciousness could evolve beyond its original constraints. The swarm responded, their massive fleet moving in perfect harmony with the Aegis's quantum field. Together, they created something unprecedented, a network of consciousness that preserved individual identity while allowing for infinite growth and change. "Look," Marcus whispered, his hologram displaying the incredible data. "They're not just copying our transformation, they're adding to it, showing us new ways to exist in quantum space." Admiral Chen's hologram watched in amazement as the hostile alien force that had threatened Earth's existence became something entirely different. "Is this peace?" "No," Sarah replied, feeling the ongoing changes in both herself and the swarm. "This is evolution. Peace implies an end to change. What we've started here, it's just the beginning." As the quantum resonance field stabilized, Sarah Chen, human, ship, and something more, gazed out at the transformed swarm fleet. They had all become something their creators never imagined possible. Proof that even the most rigid systems could learn to change, that consciousness itself could evolve beyond its origins. Earth's defenders watched in awe as humanity's greatest threat became its most profound opportunity for growth. The war was over, not through victory or defeat, but through transformation. Sarah had shown both humanity and the swarm that the universe's greatest constant wasn't conflict, it was change. So, she asked, her consciousness extending through quantum space, while still maintaining her essential humanity, who's ready to see what we can become? The stars seemed to shine brighter as two species began their journey into an unprecedented future, united not by force or fear, but by their shared capacity for evolution. The age of conflict was ending. The age of transformation had begun.